A sage lived on top of a big mountain near the village. He had 10 young disciples with him. In the morning, they will be with that sage. At night, they return home. The sage used to teach some lessons to the young disciples in the mornings. At night, he would sleep on that hill. His property is 3 big stones and 1 board. It will be 6 feet, that board. At night, he lays down 3 stones and sleeps on them. He lays down with 1 stone under his head, another stone under his back, and the last stone under his feet. During the rainy season, he keeps that board on him, so his upper part does not get wet if it rained. The water coming down will go into the space between the stones. In the mornings, he would suppress those 3 stones together and sit on them and teach some lessons to the disciples. One day, while teaching the lesson, the disciples were sitting tired. Then the sage said, "I have a miraculous power. I am going to tell about it now." The disciples were refreshed. They said, "Tell me right." "Using that power, I can bring dead people back to life," he said. Then all the disciples asked that, "You should teach that power." But the sage said that, "I will not teach it." All the disciples asked why. To which the sage said, "Undistributed knowledge is very dangerous." The disciples did not understand. All the disciples kept asking us to teach that power. "Well, I will teach you tomorrow morning, you go home." It was night time. Sage laid 3 stones in a row and slept on them. Then the king who was ruling that country went through that way. Then he was shocked to see an old man lying on top of 3 stones arranged in a row. Not wanting to disturb his sleep, the king watched him for some time. Then he returned to the palace. The sun rose. All the disciples came to see the sage. On arrival, the disciples asked him to teach us that miraculous power now. To that sage taught the mantra by saying, "This miraculous power is very dangerous and one should observe the environment carefully while using it." At the palace, the king called 2 guards. Above that mountain sits an old man. He commanded to bring him. The 2 guards got into a horse carriage and started traveling up the hill. Then they saw the elder. There were about 10 youths with the old man. The guards went to the old man and asked, "The king commanded to bring you. Come on." They called that. The old man did not want to leave here, but he left because he could not disobey the king's order. Then I go to those disciples to see the king. I don't know when to return. So you take a round trip. He said that and left. When he left, he loaded 3 stones and the board into his carriage. The guards did not stop it. The carriage left. The disciples also left. The horse carriage arrived at the palace. The king welcomed the sage. A feast was arranged for the sage. The king said, "You should go and rest first after having your food, and I will meet you tomorrow morning." Sage went to bedroom after eating. The disciples encountered a desert during their journey. They found a skeleton in the desert. Immediately everyone thought that they could use that power to bring this skeleton back to life. Without thinking, everyone used this power to bring the skeleton back to life. The skeleton turned into a wolf. Then the wolf started chasing the disciples. Many disciples were bitten by the wolf. It was then that the disciple realized that immature knowledge is dangerous. And the king went to the palace in the morning and met the sage. Then he was shocked to see the sage sitting on the bed. Because the sage had arranged the 3 stones on the golden bed and was lying on it. While the sage was get up, the king asked him, "Why are you putting stones on the bed?" I have provided you with good facilities so that you can be happy. However, why are you using stones to read? He asked. Pleasure is not about the things we use. The king thinks that the biggest place with delicious food, the biggest comforts and gold brings happiness. Now the king understands that happiness depends on the mindset. This video has taught us 2 lessons. He who loves needs will seek in life. He who loves desires will run in life. We have to use the knowledge and power we have at the right time at the right place. Otherwise, it can be dangerous for us.